This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come.
Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Ashley, and if you're old here, welcome back. So my channel has a lot of different things on it. We have body positivity and vlogs and university videos. This video, as you can tell from the title, is about body positivity and more importantly why I am a body positivity activist. Okay, I said it right that time. I've recently moved flat. Well, moved out of halls into a flat, and maybe last week or 2 weeks ago, you will have seen a video of me moving in, and coming up soon I will be having a flat tour. So here is another one of the setups I'm trying out. It's kind of difficult at the moment because I haven't got a lighting rig. I'm working on it. It's gonna happen soon. So I am working with natural lighting from my window that's sort of like over here. So the real reason why I'm a body positivity activist is to help people and to stop hate. Which sounds like kind of broad and kind of like, yes, but Ashley, isn't that like the reason that anyone becomes any sort of activist is to help people? And yes, you would be right. But for me, going through what I've gone through, there's a whole video about my life story of being fat. So you can watch that. It's called My Fat Story, and it's got a lot of views compared to what I usually get. It's like on 1.5k right now. So hop over there, watch it. It's about 20 minutes long and it details literally my whole life. I went through a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff that affected me was said by doctors and health professionals and people like that. To me, they were always saying, you are unhealthy, therefore like you are a bad person, or like, oh, you ate 3 treats this week? Monster. And I was just like, as you know, little 8-year-old me, I was just like, I ate 1 more bag of sweets this week, and now I'm like, no, no. And that's the reason why I became a body positivity activist. When I started my channel, I realised that I had emotion, I had passion, I had like experiences, that if I shared them with people, it would help other people. And that has happened. My channel isn't big, I'm not like, I don't have a huge following. We're like 426 now. Thanks guys. But I'm not huge, but I still have helped people. And I've helped people that I knew before that maybe I wouldn't have helped otherwise. And that's important. And I find that I can't stop doing it now that I've started, because I can't let those people down who are relying on me. And my flatmate probably thinks I'm a freak. I'm filming a YouTube video, by the way. I'm not just talking to myself. I've noticed in my life that there is an unconscious bigotry towards fat people. It's so evident in everything, in media, in just in general life, in the way we compliment everyone, in the way everything, and it's just, everything always comes back to weight and how much you weigh and what you look like. And there's an unconscious bigotry that if you are a healthy weight, doesn't mean you are healthy. If you are a healthy weight, you probably haven't noticed it. If you've never been overweight, you probably have never noticed it. I have a friend, I'm not going to name him because it's like personal stuff, but I have a friend who was overweight, who was fat, and he lost the weight recently, and in his life he has noticed a complete and shocking difference between the way people treat him now and the way they used to treat him when he was overweight. When he was overweight, like people selling things in the street or the charity people in the street wouldn't come up to him. They would ignore him. But now that he's lost the weight, they talk to him. And people try to sell him things. People approach him more. People talk to him more in public after he's lost the weight. And if that isn't shocking to you, then you probably knew about this unconscious bigotry that a lot of people in our society, in our culture have. And it's really sad. And I've never noticed like any sort of difference because I've always been fat. I've never been skinny to have how I'm getting treated now as a comparison. But I can imagine a lot of people who have lost weight have found this. That whereas when you lose weight, you suddenly become a more worthy person, a more like respectable person just because you've lost the weight. Which is absolutely insane. This whole like unconscious bigotry comes through in compliments, where people will be praised and complimented for losing weight, even if it means they're now unhealthy. Losing weight is like someone saying to you, oh wow, you've lost weight, is such a huge compliment. And I feel like it's a very heavily weighted compliment as well. And to say that to people, and that being what we're striving for, is damaging. And that is diet culture. And diet culture promotes eating disorders and other mental health problems that it's like irrefusable. Like you can't deny that dieting culture affects this. You can't deny that body shaming and media body shaming, especially of celebrities, cause this, and photoshopping of models and magazines cause this, and only seeing one body type in magazines cause this diet culture. And fad diets, as well as being unhealthy for the mind, are unhealthy for your body. You aren't getting the proper nutrients that you should be getting when you're cutting things out. In our society, our size equals our worth. There are more clothes in normal size. Plus size clothing costs more, is harder to find, is usually not as fashionable, and all these sorts of things is this bigotry just showing its ugly head, rearing its ugly head, and people like don't care about it or are blind to it or promote it themselves. And what is wrong with you? And it really, really annoys me. I'm just saying. And in light of recent events, well, it's not that recent anymore, but Tess Holiday was on the cover of Cosmopolitan. I do have a copy of it. Tess Holiday was on the cover of Cosmopolitan. She is fat. She is overweight. Some might say obese. And lots of people had lots of things to say. And the main thing is that people are like, it's promoting obesity, it's promoting being unhealthy, blah, 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 blah. Well, let me just give you a check there. For decades, underweight, unhealthy models have been broadcasted, have been used to brainwash women and men into feeling bad about how much they weigh. So one plus size body is on the cover of a big magazine. So what? People who are this way exist. People who weigh more than this exist. People who are still overweight, who are still obese, but maybe not this big, exist. And everybody needs to feel validated. And showing and acknowledging that plus size people exist and showing them to people is not promoting obesity. It's promoting self-acceptance, that no matter what you weigh, your worth isn't determined by that. Your size doesn't determine your beauty. But all these doctors and concerned friends will come over here and will judge someone for their lifestyle and their health just by looking at the size. Really, if someone is unhealthy, it's not any of your business. And you shouldn't shame someone for being unhealthy. I saw a post today on Facebook, was it? That was comparing obesity and overeating to other addictions like drugs and alcohol. And I'm just like, okay, so you're saying that this is bad and that you should shame people for it, which comes back to the problem that shaming people for things doesn't make them change. Shaming people for addiction actually prevents them from getting help. Because A, it's illegal, most drugs are illegal, and B, it's shameful, it's seen as a thing of shame in our society, that people just don't get help. They don't have the courage because they feel afraid to speak out about things. And obviously obesity is not caused by just overeating. There are many things that go into this. genetics, other health conditions. Yes, maybe eating too many calories does affect this, but you still shouldn't shame people for something that they're struggling with, something that quite often is very hard to control. And it makes me mad that people would compare it to addiction, which is obviously a really big problem in our society as well. Demi Lovato went back into rehab because she broke her sobriety, and people are shaming her for having this addiction problem. And to end addiction, you can't stigmatize it. That's not, if something is stigmatized, nothing's gonna change. People are gonna hide, and nobody's gonna want to reach out and help. This brings me on to something else. So my friend from before, that's the same one who was fat, got me this book, and it's called The Right to Remain Fat, and it's very interesting. It's very, very strongly written. I've not read all of it yet because I've been super busy at work, but what I have read has literally made me cry because of how true and how sad our society is when it comes to fat people. In it, it talks about the unconscious bigotry and diet culture and just the backhanded compliments about weight loss and all that sort of things. And it does come back to being shamed for your size. And people, a lot of these people who are against the Tess Holiday cover will have actually said, I don't like to body shame, but, and it's like, well, you are. Just because you say, I don't like to, it's like saying, no offense, but, like, just be offensive if you want to be offensive. Don't try and negate it. Don't try and make yourself feel any better about what you're doing. So just be offensive. And a lot of people don't want to talk to people who disagree with them. I do. I regularly get into conversation with people who disagree with me because I think it's very important to debate, not hate. I came up with that myself and I was like, woo, probably someone else has said it before, but anywho, I have a few little things to say at the end of this video. But basically, all that stuff that I've talked about is why I feel the need to be a body positivity activist, to give people self-worth, regardless of how much they weigh, how much or little they weigh. Like, stop. There are a few people that you should go and check out if you are interested in all this stuff. Louise Pentland. Are you really a faithful if you don't follow Louise Pentland? Carrie Hope Fletcher and Sarah Ray Vargas are the three big YouTubers that I watch who talk about things like this. And also a friend of mine called, well, friend, she's an acquaintance, but I want her to be my friend, who also goes to UCL, called Izzy. She talks about eating disorders and body positivity and that sort of things. And she has gone through eating disorders, so she knows what it's like. Go check out those people. And my last words in this video about the topic is a quote from J.K. Rowling. I don't know the exact quote, but I know it's something like, if fat is the worst thing it's like, fat isn't the worst thing that you could be. You could be a twat. She didn't say that, but I'm saying that. So really, who should we be shaming? The twats. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to follow me on my social medias. They're always linked down below. And thanks for being a faithful, and thanks for watching. Mwah.